We start in Burien, where two men attacked a stranger with a machete and a chain belt. KOMO's Joel Marino's live. He spoke with stunned witnesses and the man that victim was trying to help. Joel?
Yeah, Marion Morgan, witnesses, investigators say that this victim was repeatedly whipped and slashed right here on the sidewalk by two drunken men, all because he tried to step in to lend a hand. Now, we talked to one witness who took videos. This was all unfolding, and we want to warn you that while you never see the victim at any point, these images we're about to show you are intense. It is a disturbing video clip to watch and hard to believe it's really happening. Witnesses say the attack began when two men walked out of a restaurant and decided to knock over a bicycle. A dog was in a cart on the bike, but when a passerby came over to help, witnesses say those two men turned on him.
And I thought he was hitting him with a bat because he was super fast and really hard. So I pulled into the parking lot, and when I looked up, it was a machete.
As that Good Samaritan lay on the ground, a homeless man who owns the bicycle and the dog rushed over to help too.
They had him down on his back in the bushes, and they were just hacking the living snot out of him with the one big guy with the machete in his right hand and the little guy with the belt.
Witnesses say at that point the suspects went even more wild.
There was a homeless guy that tried to intervene and break it apart, and they pushed him and ran him off into traffic.
911 calls started pouring in as workers in nearby businesses rushed out to help. The suspects chased the homeless man into a restaurant.
I ran and locked myself in the cooler.
Police arrived and arrested both suspects while medics rushed the victim to the hospital.
It sounds like a really random attack. Nobody knew anybody. There's no reasoning behind it at all.
Well, investigators say those two suspects are likely to face felony charges. And again, as for that victim, taken away in critical condition.
Meridian Way just opened up a short time ago, but I can show you firefighters are still here on scene working into the night. You can see there's some engines and ladders still here on the scene. Investigators tell me it'll take several days to find out exactly what started this fire. Thick smoke gushes out of an apartment building. Families are caught in the smolder.
It's really a panic because when you open the door, oh my goodness, it's really smoke.
The weight of water and flames finally forces a roof to tumble down. Nearly 70 people escaped with their lives, but without their belongings. All anyone could do was watch in despair.
I lost everything, belonging, everything.
The smell of smoke woke up some families in the middle of afternoon naps.
Everybody got out fastly, and we were outside and we saw a lot of smoke coming out.
Many people told us they didn't hear smoke detectors beeping.
Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared, and I told my son, why there's no fire alarm sounding?
The response, massive. At least 20 fire engines and ladders lined Meridian Way for blocks. Firefighters fought the flames from the outside of the building with concerns it could collapse.
I didn't realize how intense it was until it burned for a while.
Gosh.
And it was spooky. It wasn't fun.
Hours later, this is the aftermath, and a busload of displaced families have nothing except gratitude. Everyone made it out.
I'm really worried. I'm so nervous at that time.
And back out here live, you can see firefighters are still working and investigating to figure out the cause of this blaze. Now, we're told one firefighter suffered minor injuries and was taken to the hospital. Reporting live in Northgate, Tammy Mutasa, KOMO News.
We saw this tree overhanging into the river, and so we started paddling away from it.
Fred Park wasn't especially alarmed by the swirling eddy until he realized the current was dragging him and his children straight toward it. The five of them were tubing down the Snoqualmie River when they floated up to a snag about 1.5 miles below the falls.
Like the tubes started going immediately under the tree, and then we all got sucked into the water.
Park had put life jackets on the kids, but still, it was chaos as he scrambled to pull his sons and daughter from the submerged log pile while his nephew swam to shore.
Luckily, they had their life jackets on, and they kept them above the water, and so I could grab them. But otherwise, yeah, they might have got sucked under and drowned.
Just hours before, rescue teams had been called to that same location for a group of 5 that got in trouble the same way. A second group got stuck while firefighters tried to save the first set of people.
They actually got pushed underneath the first strainer and thankfully came out underneath, and we were able to throw ropes to them.
Despite the danger posed by the submerged snag, Lieutenant Joe Springer says these log piles serve as vital fish habitat, so they aren't always cleared out, though this one has been especially troublesome.
We've had issues there in past years, and we've already had issues there this year.
No one was hurt in these rescues, but the tubers were plenty shaken up. Park says his kids got freaked out by the raw power of the river and never expected the day to go like this.
It may be a long time before we go back out again.
Joel Marino, Como News.
Breaking in Auburn this morning, 2 people are dead from a fire that ripped through their apartment building.
One family hit really hard. A father and son did not make it out. Como's Denise Whitaker is live with the details. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning. Now that man's wife and daughter, however, did escape the flames. And I also just learned fire investigators initially just in the last 20 minutes were starting to be able to get in there to see how and why this fire started. But then there was a flare up. So those investigators were forced back out. So right now, nobody's inside looking around just yet, although it does look like firefighters are starting to get geared up that perhaps they can get back in there. Now, the first call on this fire came in around 11:30 last night. This is a 4-plex, and at the time of the fire, about 8 people were in the building. Matthew Dittmar was one of them, watching TV with a friend when they heard some odd noises. Matthew tells us he ran outside to grab the hose.
By the time I seen it, by the time I got the garage door open, I could see inside the apartment into the kitchen, living room area. It was just completely engulfed in flames. There was, with my little hose, there was nothing I could do about it.
2 Auburn police officers ran inside to see if they could find anyone in there, but the flames were just too intense and they had to retreat. Firefighters discovered the father and son in their 2nd floor unit. The little boy's mother and sister somehow escaped those flames. The mother was so distraught that medics eventually took her to the hospital, and I'm told right now that the 9-year-old girl is with a family member. Now, I also asked Kimberly Terhune with Valley Regional Fire if they know which unit this fire first started in or anything about how it started yet. And right now, it's just way too early in the investigation for them to have any of that information. Of course, that's the next step that fire investigators will work on determining as soon as they can safely get into the building. They will start sifting through all of the evidence to try to figure out exactly where and how this fire started.
We really couldn't get out the stairway because it was all caught up in flames, so we kind of took our best bet and just jumped off to the side as careful as we could.
And then I didn't have time to get my cat. He was able to get a ladder. He climbed up. He was able to get my cat out, but then she ran and she's lost.
How you doing?
I'm happy and I'm glad. Because she's like my baby.
You found her okay?
Yeah.
Just a little scared? Yeah.
Hey, Mama, you're okay. No, we're fine.
We'll be fine, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we gotta head on out. Thank you.
You guys are tired, yeah.
People love what we've done with this space and moving the Obama Museum from downstairs to the back has created a unique space in the back that didn't exist before.
The energy that's here, it's love, it's community, it's art, it's creation. It's an amazing place.